Oh. Hey, hold on. Maryam Cason about to go on her first interview.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد الطيب الطاهر الأمين وعلى آله وصحابته ومن تبع هديه وهداه إلى يوم الدين. All praise belongs to Allah, and may abundant salutations be delivered to our beloved Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Allah's final messenger to all of humanity. And may Allah Ta'ala bless and reward the family of the Prophet, Ahlul Baytihi, and the preceding generations of Muslims who came before us in time and space. And we include in our prayers the people who came before us in our cultural context here in the United States of America. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And welcome to this broadcast of My Journey to the Quran, which is a presentation of Manna, featuring the voices and the stories of African American Huffaz. And Alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah, today we have a sister, a Hafidhah. And we are blessed and honored to have uh, uh, the sister of our guest from last week, Brother Muhsin Cason. We have his little sister, Maryam. Assalamu alaikum, Maryam.
Like Salam.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. And we're asking the audience to bear with us. Maryam is joining us from Tanzania, and I'm excited to hear about that and her experiences there. But before we jump into that, I'm going to ask you, Maryam, if you would, to recite for us from anywhere that you would like, inshallah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. المال والبنون زينة الحياة الدنيا والباقيات الصالحات خير عند ربك ثوابا وخير أملا ويوم نسير الجبال وترى الأرض بارزة فحشرناهم فلم نغادر منكم أحدا وعرضوا على ربك صفا لقد جئتمونا كما خلقناكم أول مرة بل زعمتم أن لن نجعل لكم موعدا صدق الله العظيم.
Sadaqallah al-Azim. Surah, and Maryam recited for us from Surah Al-Kahf, the cave. Barakallahu fikum, Maryam. Assalamu alaikum again, and welcome to
Like
the
Salam.
broadcast. So you're in Tanzania, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So we're going to start off. First of all, I want you to relax, okay? Because this is not a test. And even though I'm a sheikh, you're not sitting in front of any of your teachers, okay? So I just want you to relax and tell us about yourself and some of your experiences memorizing the Quran, okay? So we're going to start with tell us a little bit about yourself. So, I mean, we
The
know your name is Maryam, and your brother Muhsin said you're
the hearing's
17.
a bit the audio's a bit bad. You're breaking off.
The audio is a bit bad. Let's see if there's a delay. Maybe there's a delay. Can you hear me?
Oh, you're breaking off.
I'm breaking off.
I hear
Okay.
you.
But you can't hear me. Okay, we're experiencing some technical difficulties with the broadcast. Once yeah, that happened. Okay. Uh All right. So until we get Sister Mariam back, and unfortunately, the internet today is a very interesting space. I think it's because it's crowded, and so many people are doing all kinds of programs and all kinds of presentations online, and the highways are just jam packed. So until we work out uh, the the technical difficulties, we've lost Sister Mariam right now. Hopefully, we'll get her back. Um, but in the meantime, I wanted to say to our listeners, the people who have been participating, thank you for listening to the broadcast. It's been very inspiring for me. Oh, she's back. She's
Yeah, I'm
back.
back.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, and can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, all right. So I had asked you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Maryam Cason, and I was born in Baltimore, and I'm currently living in Tanzania with my mom and my brother. And I'm here studying Quran, and yeah. So the way I started Quran was my mom. I was raised in a private school, an Islamic private school to be exact, where I started learning Quran from preschool, and yeah, that's how it started my journey. And then I I I I had a liking to it because I found it a bit interesting as a kid. And my mother, she had this translation Quran where I would try to read it, but I never really understood it until now. Now that I finished the Quran, and now when I read the translation of the Quran, I can understand, like, what the Quran is saying. So like the way I just oh my god. So like um so yeah, that's a bit about me.
Okay, all right. So you started memorizing in Baltimore. Did you have a similar experience? So you and your brother went to Islamic schools. What was the name of the school that you went to?
Al Huda school.
Al Huda. Okay,
Yeah.
that's different than Muhsin. He went to a different Islamic school, right?
Yeah, he did.
Okay. All right. So you went
Yeah.
to Al Huda, and you started memorizing Quran in pre-K,
Yeah.
right? So did they start you out with the Qaida?
I started with the Qaida, I finished it, and then
How
we
long did it
started
take
off
you to?
with
How long did it take you to finish the Qaida?
2 years.
2 years.
Like,
That's not bad. Okay.
yeah,
And
it's not.
so when
Yeah.
you were done with the Qaida, you were able to read the Arabic of the Quran, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And so in 2 years you were in second grade. You started
Yeah.
memorizing in second grade.
I actually started memorizing in first grade because it went preschool, kindergarten, first grade. So I started memorizing in first grade,
Uh-huh.
and then from first grade on up, I just continue memorizing.
Okay. And so did
Yeah.
you have a similar experience where you went to a special Quran school, or did you memorize at Al Huda? So did you go to a madrasa
Well,
to memorize?
I it started off being I used to memorize in class with my other daily academic studies,
Hmm.
and then
Okay.
my mom took me out of Al, and she sent me to a Quran institute called Actibian. That is a
At
full time
Tibian.
Quran program. Yeah, it's
And
a full
where
time
is that?
Quran.
Is that in Baltimore as well?
No, it's in College Park.
Okay, at Tibian. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So
that so is this like was this
um,
like a boarding school, or did you commute every day?
yeah, yes, I did.
Oh, okay. College Park, so that's not that far from where's El Huda? What city is it in?
Hood is in College Park along with Actibian. So
Oh,
we
okay.
used
All
to
right.
we would yeah.
Okay. So at Tibian, it's a full-time Quran school.
Yes, it is. It is.
Okay, and how many hours did you dedicate to memorizing Quran when you were at Tibian?
Well, it was from 8 to 3, so the
Wow.
whole day.
Okay.
So from all of that, before I was there until I left. So within the time frame that I was there, I managed to complete 8 over there. So by
Okay.
the time when I came to Tanzania, I had already completed some of the ajazat of the Quran. So
Okay.
I just had I didn't have I didn't have the whole Quran to memorize. I had only a certain amount of ajazat to finish to complete in order for me
Okay.
to memorize the Quran.
So what was your typical school day like? So you said from 8:30 to 3. Were there periods and you just read maybe a new lesson? So what was the day like?
So the day started off with everybody starting off by the teacher testing us. She would test us on our previous hifz from the day before to see if we have it. And then if we don't have it, she'll make us repeat it and repeat it until everybody in the class has it strong. And then we'll all move on together to the next page, and
Okay.
then we memorize for that day. And then after we memorize that certain page, we do tafsir. We would do tafsir on that page. And then
Oh,
once we finish tafsir on that page, then we would have like a little break. And then after that break, our teacher she would tell us to review whatever we had memorized previously. Like it's let's say if it's Friday, so we have to memorize from we have to review from what we memorized on from Monday through Thursday, along with the new um, hip. So it's and then
okay.
after that we would we would we'd do some Arabic, and then yeah, the day was over. And then after that, my I started getting homeschooled, so I was on an online homeschooling program. So after that, I would after I finished in a TBN for my day for the day, I would go back to a Huda because my mother was teaching over there. Um, my mother was teaching at Al Huda, so I would go back there, and I would do my other academics. So I would get everything in. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
So that was a
yeah.
pretty intense schedule
Yeah, it
for
was.
a
It was.
young kid. That was pretty intense. So,
My dad was.
but how were you with that? Were you what was your motivation? Like what kept you going? Because that you were going to two different types of schools.
Well, the thing that kept me going was that when at that time I actually found the Quran a bit interesting because when we would do our tafsir, I was always I like the memorization was it was fun, but the main thing I would look forward to was the tafsir classes because I found them a bit more interesting within the day. So that's what motivated me to keep going to class and keep up with that Quran schedule. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Oh wow, that's
yeah.
awesome. So, and you mentioned that when you were in a Tibian, the whole class you guys all memorized together. So it wasn't
Yes, we did.
okay. It wasn't like each person did their own at their own pace. You guys were all
No.
together.
Yeah.
Okay, and was this an all girls school or was it a mixed school?
It was all girls.
It
All
was all
girls.
girls. Oh, mashallah. Okay, so you were able to, and your teacher was a woman.
Yes, she was.
And where was she from? Do you remember?
She was from Chad,
From
but
Chad, mashallah.
she studied in Saudi Arabia,
Uh-huh.
and yeah. So
Wow. So,
yeah,
I mean, how was that experience? Because Oftentimes, when kids go to Muslim schools, sometimes it's like a very diverse um, instructional faculty, especially with the religious subjects. So, how was it having a Quran teacher who was a woman who looked like you?
That was actually another thing that motivated me because the teachers I had in TBN, they were all, you know, they were all like me. They were all, and then the students
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. They were
we were
all what?
they were all like me. They were all,
Okay, they were all
yeah.
black
So
women, or
yeah, they
wow.
were. So this, but the students they were diverse.
Okay,
So
so
she she and and the tafsir teacher, they were also another part of the motivation because you don't if you because in El Huda, right, you don't really see many black female teachers teaching you Quran in tafsir. It's always it's the Arabs, or it's the Pakistani people, or the Indian people. So
mhm,
seeing black Muslim women, teaching in a diverse, Islamic school, it also motivates you that I can do it too. If they can
right,
do it, then I can do it too. So
yes,
that's what I found, interesting
absolutely.
about it.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow, that's pretty amazing that you had that experience because um, I think that it would be something that would make you believe in yourself more. So you're not just
Yeah.
doing it because you like something about it, but you also have like a role model in
Right.
your
Right.
teachers. Okay, so now you're in Tanzania. So how did that happen, and when did that happen?
Um. Well, it happened in 2018. We we went for Umrah, and from Umrah we came here, and the reason why we came here is because uh, Tanzania has a better learning opportunity when it comes to the Quran, because they have a lot of people who who learn the Quran and who have succeeded in the Quran because of the type of environment that they're in. So when we came here, um, I started to it was the adapting part was okay,
The
but
what? The what part?
the adapting part, like
Uh
adapting
huh.
to a new environment.
Okay.
But the Quran learning part, it was actually not that hard because it was something that I was already used to. But the only thing that was a bit different is that we had a male teacher instead of a female. So that's the only thing that I was a bit uncomfortable with.
Okay.
But alhamdulillah, I got used to it, and alhamdulillah, I finished the Quran with my male teacher. And
Hmm.
currently, yeah, I'm doing my muraja. I'm doing my review.
Okay. So your teacher. What was your teacher's name at Tibian? What was
Her
her
name
name?
was Sister Zainab.
Sister Zainab. And what's your teacher?
Yes,
Your male teacher that you mentioned. What was his name?
Sheikh Khamis.
Sheikh Khamis. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. And so you show up in Tanzania. What grade were you in?
I was in I just finished fourth grade.
You had just finished fourth grade. Wow. So you were about 12, 11, 12.
Mm, I was turning 10.
You were turning 10. Oh, my. Wow. Okay. So you show up in
Hmm.
Tanzania, 10 years old. You go to a new Quran
Yeah,
school. Oh,
yeah,
man. And you had memorized before you got there, you had about 8 or 9 juz, right?
yeah. I did.
Okay. So did they start you off where you had like on juz 10? Did they make you go back, or were you like good enough to go ahead and carry on in their program?
Well, the parts of the Quran that I memorized, it was different parts. It was like the back of the Quran, the middle of the Quran, and the beginning. So what he had me do was he had me review all those juz, but he started me from the front, going to the back.
Okay.
So
All
um,
right.
I started from the front, and I continued on to the back.
So you started from Fatiha down. So from Fatiha and then Baqarah. Wow. That's actually a lot of
Yeah,
people say that's impressive because a lot of people say that that's the harder way to do it. Okay,
it is
because
hard.
a
It is
lot of
hard, but
people do
sometimes, yeah,
go from Nas up, and you went from
yeah, they do.
Baqarah down, and yeah, that's impressive. So before that, but you memorized out of order. So you memorized some parts from the back, some in the middle, and some at the beginning when you were at Tibian.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right. So and tell us about the environment at the school. What was the name of the school in Tanzania? Well, first of all, what city in Tanzania were you in? Are you
Um, the city that we're in, it's called Dar es Salaam,
Dar es Salaam?
and
Okay.
um,
That's the
and
capital,
the
right?
school that I go to, yeah, no, it's not the capital. It's just like a major. It's a major city in Tanzania.
Okay.
Yeah,
And the school
but
that you go to?
he was actually a private. The teacher that we have, he's a private teacher. We don't go to a school. He comes to
Okay.
our home and teaches us.
Okay.
So so we have like we're able to have multi teacher instead of not having that full attention that you need as a Quran student.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, he would come to our house and he would teach us from um, we just like from I used to have the morning hours, and sometimes I used to have the afternoon hours.
Okay.
So I would sometimes do from 8 to 12, or from 2 to 5. I used to do back and forth. I used to just so yeah, that's how we do schooling here. And yeah,
Okay. So are you memorize? So um, you are. How long have you been there? You said you got there in
we are
2000. Oh,
moving
okay.
on
So
to we've been here for it's been 3 years and a half.
3.5 years. So how long did it take you to finish memorization?
Took me 2 years. I
It took
finished
you
in
2 years.
2020.
MashaAllah.
I finished
MashaAllah.
that.
May Allah increase you, Maryam. This is very, very impressive. Um, in all of the interviews I've done so far, you're only the second person who memorized from the front to the back. So I have to underscore for people how impressive that is. May Allah increase you and more in knowledge of the Quran, inshallah. So you mentioned, so you're
Ameen,
there with your
ameen,
mom
ameen.
and your brother. Is your brother is he older than you or is he younger than you?
He's my older brother.
He's your older brother. Okay. And is he the one? Is he Hafid as well?
Yes, he is.
MashaAllah. So how much older is he than you?
He's me
He's how much?
4 years.
4 years older
Four
than you?
years older than me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So is there some kind of competition between you guys, or was there? Who memorized first, him or you?
There was a competition. The competition was who would finish first,
Who would finish first? And who finished
and
first?
I did.
MashaAllah. So you beat your other brother to the goal, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. So did he have a similar experience like you? Did he memorize before you guys went to Tanzania?
Yes, he did. He actually to a full-time hip school before he
like
came
your other
himself.
brother, like
So
Muhsin did.
yeah,
Yeah. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. And so
yeah.
now are
So
you're doing muraja, you said? Now you're
yes, I
doing
am.
muraja. Yeah, okay. And what kind of system? How much do you do a juz a day, or how do you do your muraja?
Well, it depends on my weakest juz. If it's my weakest juz, I do 2 pages. If it's my strongest, I can do half to the whole thing, or I can do 5 pages per 5 pages if I want to do that. But my week, if like if I want to focus on my weak juz, I do as minimal as possible so that I can really grasp it instead of doing a bunch of pages at a time and then
Hmm.
forgetting it again, like
Right,
and having it go weak again. So
right.
as of the moment, I'm that's what I'm doing. I'm focusing more on my weak edges at so that I can get them stronger. And yeah,
Hmm. So what are your
yeah.
weekends at?
I just
Which ones give you the most trouble?
well, the ones that give me the most trouble is there's just 7. It's from 6 to 14. Those they give me the most trouble because they have these type of they have these the stories in the surah itself. It's a complex story. So the story in Arabic, it's like it can be a tongue twister sometimes when you're reciting. So you
Mm,
have to get that straight. So that's
yes.
what I'm struggling to do as of the moment. Yeah,
Y-
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So now, are you studying anything else besides Quran?
Yes, yes, yes. So the way we do is we take at least 3 to 4 hours of the day for my for Quran if possible, and then like the rest of the day we do academics. I'm still on the online homeschooling program, so I still keep up with that along with my Quran.
Okay. And are you a good student?
Well, it yeah.
What do you mean
I'm in
well? That's either yes
I'm
or
in
no, not well.
well, I'm in it depends on how the subject is. It depends on how the lesson is. If it's
Yeah.
hard,
Hmm.
sometimes I may want to give up and I'll need like some encouragement to move on, to move forward and to get through it.
Oh,
But if
yeah.
it's not that hard, yeah, sure, I'm fine.
Yeah. Okay. So, online schooling, like, yeah, I think you brought up a good point. You have to be self-motivated because it's you and the computer, right? And even if you have classmates
Yep.
and you have a teacher, nobody's in the room with you. So you have to really want to push through. So what's your favorite subject right now in school?
As of the moment, my favorite subject is college career and readiness. Yeah. It's like
Okay.
it's a subject where it gets you ready for like what's gonna happen after high school. When you finish
After
high
high
school,
school.
what step are you gonna take? Yeah.
So you're 17, so you're in 12th grade now, right?
No, I'm in ninth grade.
Or you're in ninth grade. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Okay. So what's the plan? I mean, for college, what are you looking forward to doing?
Well, I'm planning on taking pediatrics.
Oh, so you want to be a doctor?
Yeah.
MashaAllah. All of you Quran people, man, you have high aspirations. I think that's amazing. I think that's amazing. Like you guys all are doctors or want to be doctors. I interviewed a sister last year, and she studied in Senegal, and she's in medical school. And then I interviewed someone 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and he's already a doctor. And then the brother after him is going to medical school. So inshallah, you'll be in good company, Mariam. You'll be in good company. So you do you feel that memorizing the Quran has helped you be a better student in school?
Yes, cause when like before I started doing in-depth memorization, my school, like the way my behavior in school was, it wasn't as great as it is now, because the Quran is like it's a guidebook for you, right? So it has these lessons to tell you, be respectful when you're in a certain situation. Like if you're in a group, as in if you're in a classroom, you be respectful, you be attentive, you listen, and you do all of that stuff. That's supposed to happen in a classroom. Respect your teacher, respect your peers, you know, do the things you're supposed to do, and yeah, and don't be disrespectful and stuff like that. So that's what, like, you find in the Quran, and when you read the tafsir, it doesn't say exactly that, but it has certain reading, it has
Hmm.
certain eyes in the Quran relating to it. So
Hmm.
that's what I managed to interpret it out of those ayahs.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Um, and so, uh, tell us a little bit about. So, what do you do? Because when we talked to your brother also had like outside interests. So, I took it from him that like your whole family is into athletics. Do you play any kind of sports? First of all, is that true?
No.
No,
Well, it's not everybody in the family plays sports. It's certain people, like
it's certain people
yeah, certain people who play sports. But
who
me,
plays.
I don't play sports now.
So what do you do? Do you have any hobbies? Do you have anything that you do that you like to do um, when you're not
I like
studying?
to like I like writing. I like writing.
You
I
like you
enjoy
said
writing and
reading
reading.
and writing. Uh,
Yeah,
okay. What kind of books do you
yeah.
read?
Well, I read fantasy books. I read, I read. I read
Do you
type of
like
book. If it
sci-fi,
if
sci-fi
that's the
fantasy?
book, yeah, that's not really my type of genre. But like any type of book that I'm interested in, I'll read it. It doesn't have to
Okay.
be a specific type.
Oh, okay. So you're
If I'm
not
interested
locked
in,
into
I'll
us.
read it. Yeah.
Okay. And you're writing. What type of writing do you write poetry?
Well, whatever comes to mind, that's the type of writing I do. Like if
MashaAllah.
I come for I need to write, it's like, oh, I'll write it down. Like, yeah, I write.
Yeah,
I just
that's a
write.
good habit, though. That's a really good habit. And you're young enough to really develop yourself and become a writer as well. It would be interesting um, for you to develop into someone who writes about the Quran, specifically like the stories that you mentioned, the stories of the prophets and the other stories, because they're very interesting and they're very informative. And you could write them in a more modern voice, meaning tell the same story from the Quran, but write it in a way that it's applicable in people's minds to their lives. Because sometimes people think, well, I'm reading this really old story about Prophet Noah, for example, and what does that have to do with me, right? But if you
Hmm.
could write a story like that with a similar character or something like that, that would be awesome. So basically,
Yeah, but
reading and writing. Go ahead.
um, the thing I find in prophet stories in the Quran is that every story has its own moral, its own lesson to learn from
Right.
it.
That's true.
So
Yes.
that's another thing I find interesting about the Quran is that it's telling you something without trying to tell you. It's a
Hmm.
secret within a secret.
A
Yeah.
secret within a secret. Okay. Okay. That's yeah. So so basically, your two hobbies are reading and writing. Anything
Yeah.
else? How do you like living in Tanzania?
Well, sometimes it's adaptable. I mean, it's nice. It's really nice because you don't have to worry about winter. You don't have to worry about you know, uh, you don't have to worry about um. Well,
So good weather. That's one.
it has good weather. The people here, you have like if you're around the right people, you can enjoy yourself. Gotta watch out for the people here. Um, Another thing about Tanzania is that, well, it's an interesting place because everywhere you go has its own story.
Mm,
Like, yeah. So everywhere you go, like city, um, my mom sometimes she tells me like, oh, when I was growing up, it wasn't like this, and she'll tell me the story in the background of it, and then I see how and I can imagine things when you're if you're telling me something, and I can imagine it, right? So I'll imagine it, and then like I'll see how I can kind of picture how it looked back then, and then I can compare it to how it looks like now. So like
wow.
it every yeah like I said, every place you go has its own story. Another thing, it's the way that they take their Quran seriously here. They don't play about it. If you're memorizing Quran, you gotta act like it. You gotta be it. You gotta be friends with it. You can't be goofing
Wow.
around and playing around like that. So that's
Wow.
that's how that's what I see about Tanzania.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, that so does that make do you feel any kind of extra pressure because of that, or does it are you cool with that? Like it's okay with you? The extra
Well,
expectation.
sometimes I feel pressure, sometimes I don't.
Hmm.
You know, it's
Yeah.
it's kind of the pressure thing is kind of on and off when it comes to Quran
Okay.
because they have their own expectations and you have your own expectations for yourself. And
Yes.
so if they clash, it becomes a big pressure on yourself. But if you're able to distinguish the two, then fine, it's no problem.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. You broke up there. What was the last part you said? If you were able to distinguish the
I
two,
said
then
if you're able to, it'll be no problem. There shouldn't be any problem.
oh, there shouldn't be any problem. Okay. All right. So what was so you went to Tanzania. You were about 10 years old. What would tell us about that? What was it like for you when you first, you moved from Baltimore, right, to Dar es Salaam? And Dar es Salaam is a big city, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us about your experience about with that. Like how tell us about the things that you looked at them and you said, "Hey, that's the same as back home in Baltimore." Or the things that you looked at and say, "Hey, that's really different." Tell us about that.
Well, the different thing about this place is that the first of all, when I first came here, the first thing that hit my mind was the housing. The way that they do it is that every house it's in a compound and it has a gate. So it's like,
Mm.
and you buy land and you build on it, and you're living in private property, right? So nobody can
Oh,
come in or out of the compound unless they have permission to come in and out.
oh,
Another thing I find interesting about this is the way that they um the way that they do their things. They do their things different. Like people striving in America is really different from people striving here. Because if you see a striving person, they'll they sell. They'll have their own fruit, their own fruit stall where they sell fruits, or they'll have their own drink. They'll have their own drink like a store for drinks, like if you're hot or something, or they have these walking it's like a walking market. Like
mhm,
every corner you turn, you can find hangers. There's food. There's things for there's things for the kitchen. They have mugs and all that other stuff. So that's one thing I find. That's another thing I find different about this place.
mhm.
And well, I don't. Everything else is normal. Yeah, there's
Everything
not
else is
really that much of a difference.
it's not that
Yeah.
much of a difference. Okay, okay. And so, um, how much longer is your family going to be in Tanzania? Do you know? Now that you're Hafidha and your brother's Hafidh as well, was that the goal for you guys to memorize
Well,
Quran?
that no, I
Okay, we have a little breakup with the internet.
well, the main goal is for us to memorize Quran,
Uh-huh.
have the tafsir done on it, and
Okay.
muraja. That's the main goal why we're here.
That's the main goal. And then you're gonna come back, you're gonna come back to America?
Yeah. So there it's just the main goal at part. Inshallah, but as of right now, no. Can you hear me?
As of
Can
right
you?
now, you're
Okay.
in
Well,
Tanzania.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there.
Okay, so now you've been
Yeah,
there since
I'll be here for a
2008,
while.
since 2018. Have you been back? Have you been
Yeah.
there 4 years straight, or have you gone back to Baltimore and visited?
Yeah, I've gone back. I've gone back. It's what we do is we do back and forth. We're not here
Okay,
straight. We go back for a visit for like a couple weeks or sometimes a month, and then we'll come back, and then yeah, that's how we do it here.
so tell me something. So, what's it like coming home, going back home from Tanzania and going back to Baltimore? Well, how is that for you now? Is it the same, or is it kind of weird a little bit because you're getting older now and you look at things maybe differently? Tell us about that. 'Cause I see you smiling.
Well, um, the thing is, there's not that much of a difference. It's just that I know the environment here, what it's like, and I know the environment there, what it's like. So
Hmm.
when I compare the two, sometimes it's like here's like Dar's better, but at the same time, America's good. You know, it's like as of the moment, I'm still I'm still the thinking process of
You
like
still what? Say that again.
um I'm still in the thinking process of
Uh
like
huh.
you know
Yeah.
deciding which environment is better for me to stay in as for
Okay.
my education and my safety.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, safety definitely. But I was going to ask you about your education because you mentioned that, inshallah, you want to go to medical school. So, is that a part of what you are trying to figure out whether or not you'll go to medical school over there somewhere or come back to the United States and go to medical school? Is that one of the things you're thinking about?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what made you pick PD, being a pediatrician? What made you pick that? Why are you interested in
Well,
medicine?
one, um, I know they. I just I found it interesting ever since I was a kid. When we used to go to to get physical checkups, I found clinics and hospitals a bit interesting to me,
Hmm.
and I would say to myself like, I want to work in this place someday. And then the pediatric choice was because first one, a lot of people told me that I'm really good with kids, and I do like kids. I love kids, so I thought that if I become a doctor for kids, it would be nice so that sometimes I just thought about it because at first I wanted to be a urologist and I wanted to be a nerve doctor, and
Hmm.
then I wanted to be a physician, and then I wanted to be a cardio a, a,
Cardiophysiologist.
how do you say it? Yeah, a
Cardiophysiologist.
cardiophysiologist.
Oh
And
my
then
God, that's
yeah,
serious.
sorry. And then I wanted to be a
Okay.
cardiophysiologist.
Yeah.
But then I looked at, and then I never knew pediatrics was a thing until I started looking more into it, and I
Okay.
found out that a lot of people told me that if you want to be a doctor, you should become a pediatrician because you're really good with kids. And I said, sure, fine. And seeing my love for kids, I wouldn't mind. I mean, I would love to be treating kids and helping them stay healthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think just listening to you and speaking with you um, during this broadcast, inshallah, I think you'll be able to do anything that you put your mind to. You seem like a very determined young lady, and you're taking on a big undertaking by, you know, being in a position where you have to study in a very intense environment, and going to school at two different schools at the same time is not an easy thing for children. And the fact that you did that already, medical school, inshallah, will be a breeze for you. You've also memorized the Quran, and I think that your brain has been prepared to, take in intricate and, complex medical knowledge. So we just pray for you, Mariam, because it's very, very impressive to hear your story. So before we run out of time, I do have a question for you. Um, oh, okay. So we have a question, and I'm going to ask you the question, but the question is about parents who want their children to memorize, and they aren't Hafiz. So um, I'm going to, if it's okay with you, I'm going to help you answer that because you're still in high school. But I think that you can talk to us about what you think it is that your parents did that helped you memorize. So, because it's safe to assume that your parents aren't her father, your dad isn't, and your mom isn't, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, what is it that you think that they were able to provide for you besides motivation? um, that helped you memorize?
Well, one of the things that I saw their love for the Quran, and I saw how
Mhm.
much they they cherished it, and it makes, like, how when you see someone else loving something so dearly, you want to look into it too. So it made me curious, like, what is so interesting about that the Quran that makes them love it so much. And
Wow.
so they they I think, and also they want you to be a better person than they are, and they were as kids, because my parents didn't get you that education as youngsters, so they want me to have that education so that I can pass it on to my kids, right?
Mhm.
And inshallah, right? And so that's what I see, from what my parents did. That's what I see in them. I see that they want me to be a better person, and they want
Mhm.
me to have the Quran, because they weren't able to have it, and they want me to have it, and be able to pass it on, and educate my kids the way that they're educating me, but even better,
But even better.
right? So
Wow.
yeah, but so that's how I see it.
Yeah. So
But
that's
yeah.
an excellent answer. That's an excellent answer. And I have to say, when I spoke with your brother last week, and now speaking to you, I think that you guys are blessed to have amazing parents, and you guys are amazing. Um, and may Allah protect you, and keep you strong, and and bless you to have all your dreams
Mm,
come true, the things that you want to do. May Allah give you
I
everything
mean,
that you ask Him for, because you are truly blessed. And I want you to remember um, something, because what your parents are doing for you is very, very noble and very important. And I want you to always remember that. And I want you, because the reward for parents who have children who know the Quran or who have memorized the Quran is that they are rewarded in this life, but also Yom Al Qiyamah, they will have a special position. And so I pray that your parents get that full reward, that great reward, because they have done something so amazing for you and your siblings, especially you guys who have memorized. Um, and I also want to say to you, Mariam, I think that you're an inspiration for a lot of young girls and women who are like you, who may want to memorize the Quran, and they don't know what it takes because they may not know anybody. Well, now they've heard your story, and I pray to Allah that you inspire someone to do what you did, memorize the Quran, commit, make the commitment, and memorize. So that's a great thing, that um, because I'm inspired, and I'm an old man, and I'm inspired by just this your story, and by your parents' sacrifice. It's very, very encouraging. So we are almost to the end of the program. That wasn't that bad, was it?
no, it wasn't. It wasn't. It
It
wasn't.
wasn't that bad, right? Okay. So are there any other things that you want to share with us today? Do you have any advice for young people who want to memorize the Quran?
Well, the main advice I have for them is that when you memorize it, if you want to memorize the Quran, or if you're in the process of memorizing the Quran, you have to stay motivated, not only by your parents but by yourself. You have to have self motivation. You have to tell yourself that I know I can do it, and if I see other people doing it, meaning that it's possible for me to do it too. And so that's what I saw, because that's what I saw in my teacher from at Tibian, Sister Zainab. She's a Hafidha, so that's what I saw in her. And sometimes it gets hard. The Quran does get hard. It really does.
Hmm.
It has its surahs where it and edges out where they're really really difficult to the point that you just want to give up. You just
Yeah.
want to put it to the side for a bit, right? But the minute if you put it to the side for a bit, that putting aside for the bit, you may end up putting it aside forever, just saying that, oh, I'm gonna get back to it. I'm gonna get back to it. I'm gonna get back to it. There are people who do that, and
Hmm.
there are people who are going through that as of the moment. But another thing is that you gotta believe in yourself. You gotta believe in Allah. You gotta have faith. You gotta have faith in Him, and you gotta make du'a. If especially if it becomes hard for you, you gotta make
Hmm.
du'a and tell Him, like, Ya Allah, help me. Help me get through this, because I'm trying to memorize Your words, and help me get through it. So yeah, that's advice I have for them.
Okay, Jazakumullah khair. I hope people take that to heart because that's advice even for us older folk that she shared with us. Um, and again, let's see here. I want to make sure we don't have any more questions. Okay, so Mariam, uh, any closing thoughts before we sign off? Anything you want to? Anybody you want to shout out in America? You want to wish your brother success in his upcoming fight? Do you follow your brother's career,
Well,
Muhsin?
I'm gonna do a big shout out to all my Quran teachers.
Okay.
I'm gonna do a big shout out to all my Quran teachers, sister Zainab, sister Samah, sister Amina, what's her name? Sister Sumaya, yeah, sister Rana. They really helped me get where I am today.
Yes.
If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. I would still be struggling. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I have to say, mashallah, they did an amazing job with you. May Allah reward them all and make
I mean,
everything that you do weigh heavily in their scales. So, you want to shout out and anybody else? Yeah. Do you follow your brother, his career, his boxing career?
as of the moment, I'm not, but I know about it. I know about his boxing career.
You know about
Yeah,
it. You know he's
shout out to him.
he's a good fighter.
Yeah,
He hasn't been defeated yet,
he
and he
is.
has
He
a fight
is. He
coming
is.
up
He
after
is.
Ramadan. So we make dua for him that Allah
Yeah, he's
protect
10-0
him.
right now. So I'm there. Yeah, may he, may achieve more than that. But you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Indeed,
yeah.
indeed. Yes. Well, I think that you guys are. Oh, okay. So we have another question that popped up. Um, so the person is asking, Brother John is asking, how long did it take you to memorize the Quran? And I know you told us, but just remind people how long it took you
It took me. Yeah, it took me 2 years. I finished in 2020. Yeah,
in 2020. So
it took me.
it took her
It
two
took.
years. So I'm sorry, you said something else? Okay. All right.
No, no,
So
I didn't say anything else.
no, okay. All right. So oh, and then Sister Layla Fakira is checking in with a dua for you and your parents. May Allah bless you and your parents. So a lot of people, I'm sure, are inspired by your story,
Mean.
and we pray for you guys' safety. We ask you to pray for us during this month of Ramadan. So you guys are almost done the fast, right? When is
Uh-huh.
Eid over there?
Yes, we are. It's on Monday. It's on Monday.
Eid is on Monday. Okay. You looking forward to it?
Yes.
I know.
Yes, I am.
Yeah,
I am.
yeah, yeah. So may Allah Ta'ala, you have a happy
Yeah.
Eid, and give salams to your family. And may Allah keep you safe and all of your goals, Maryam, may you achieve them and reach them. And one
I
day
mean,
we'll
I
call
mean,
you
I mean.
Dr. Maryam, Dr. Cason. We'll call you Dr. Cason one day, inshallah. Okay? All right,
Inshallah.
Maryam, thank you so
Inshallah.
much. Thank you. This has been great. This has been great,
No
inshallah.
problem.
Thank
No
you.
problem.
All right. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.